Atlanta Motor Speedway, located about 20 miles south of downtown Atlanta in Hampton, Georgia, has come a very long way from its first race, held in 1960 and won by NASCAR legend Fireball Roberts, who also took the pole at 133 miles per hour. Spectators from that day who watched from one small grandstand or maybe on blankets spread out on the adjacent dirt bank wouldn't begin to recognize the facility today, even down to the name. Dubbed Atlanta International Raceway, when it opened, the track struggled financially through the 60s and 70s before finding a degree of stability in the 1980s. Future Georgia Governor and U.S. President Jimmy Carter briefly worked as a ticket seller on race weekends in the 60s, but real change came following Bruton Smith's purchase of the facility in 1990, with the culmination of the transformation of Atlanta International Speedway occurring in 1997 with extensive reconfiguration that switched front and back straightaways and added a double dogleg in the new front straightaway. In the 7 intervening years, new grandstands sprouted almost every year in a 9-story tower, Terra Place, that houses the track offices and a number of luxury condominiums. Atlanta has been a staple in the NASCAR calendar for decades, and tonight, the Sim Gear Central 185, race number 1 of the NTRL Truck Series. That's coming up next on HBR TV. Good evening, everyone. I'm Steve Singer with HBR TV. Tonight it is the Sim Gear Central 185 here from Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Numb Thumbs Racing League Truck Series opening round of this season. Glad to have you with us here this evening. Let's take a look at race details for tonight. It is 120 laps. No stage breaks to speak of. They have 4 sets of tires over the wall, 86 degrees, 43% humidity, partly cloudy skies, little breezy, 7 miles an hour. Track temperature, though, steamy, 128 degrees. And this place, with its old surface, it's going to tear up these Goodyear Racing Eagles. It's going to come down to who can save tire the best and utilize the tires over the wall over the course of the 120 laps. Practice just about wrapped up here at the Speedway. A couple of minutes remain. We'll go down and take a look, see where everyone stacks up right now. Zach Millett, fastest on the racetrack. He's 31.36. It's been pretty steady. I think a 39 was where he started. Not a huge improvement from that point forward. Still top of the board, but not by much. Neil Quick, well, he's quick too. Second fast, 31.37, and then it's the 6 of Raymond Ferreira, 31.38. Really tight times up here in that top 4, and it gets even tighter 5th, 6th, and 7th, all with identical lap times. And then 100th apart all the way back to the end of that top 10 with the 23, it looks like, of Vincent Short. I think you'll actually see him in the number 15 truck tonight. Have to straighten out some numbers there with some of the guys. First race of the season, these things do happen. You guys are new to HBR TV. We're very stream chat friendly. I try to get my eyes up to it as much as possible. Obviously, if we're having a really good race, it sometimes gets a little difficult, but don't be shy. Feel free to chime in the stream chat. Tell us who you're cheering from, where you're watching from, cheering for, watching from, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Just hop in there. We don't bite. Just keep it PG for all the kids watching at home. Dakota already cheering on for Derek Welch. Just go ahead and flag DW into victory lane. Stiff competition here tonight. This series is going to be a good one. Lots of trucks here already. Looks like 36 to be specific. Juan Jimenez fresh off a cup championship with the NTRL. Not sure if he's going to make the race tonight or not. Hasn't turned any laps in the practice session. Derek Welch not racing. Well, that answers that. Practice just about complete. Millett still at the top of the board. That wraps up the practice session. We will jump right into qualifying. We'll take a look at the official practice results. Of course, Millett was the quickest, a 31.369. Neil Quick, 4 thousandths off of that. Then 18 thousandths off was Raymond Ferreira, Robert Chapman Jr., 38 thousandths, and so on. You see how close these times are. We don't get to a full tenth of a second behind the leader until we get to P13 in Gene Wolfe. Qualifying going to be very, very important with times that close. Zach Millett not going to waste any time getting out there to throw down his qualifying attempt. 2 laps to put it on the pole. We'll see if he can do it. Millett out of Clayton, New York, up in the Thousand Islands. Better known as that S4 guy. Almost looks like Millett might be taking a throwaway lap here. I'm not 100% sure. I know the track temperature may have something to do with that. We'll take a look at that track temp here as qualifying underway. 130 degrees. It just keeps getting hotter. First lap for Millett, a 31.783. Vincent Short goes P1 quickly right after, a 31.69. Then you've got Brandon Coleman running P2. Not for long. Now it's Robert Chipman takes P2. We'll stay with Millett here as he was fastest in the practice session. We'll see if he can back it up. Pick up the pace here on the second lap. Back to P1, 31.437 seconds for Zach Millett. We'll see if that holds. Jonah Long out of Calhoun, Georgia, the number 9 machine. First lap of 31.86, crosses the stripe to finish lap 2. Does not improve. Or does he? P4, 31.56. Seems like lap 2 is the hotter lap. Mike Fahey, the number 47 quick lane. Little wiggle already there. This is his second lap off of turn number 4. 31.97 the first time. Second time by. It's faster. 31.633 for Mike Fahey. Zeth Hawley, the number 48, out of Circleville, Ohio. First lap's a 31.848, 16th fast presently. Through the dogleg, cross the stripe, lap 2 for Hawley. It's fast. Fourth fast, that is, 31.524. Threat for the pole, Raymond Ferreira, 31.928 out of New Smyrna Beach, Florida. Toyota Tundra TRD Pro through the dogleg, cross the stripe, left side's in the grass just a bit. Does he do it? P8, 31.567. Double out Joe Bennett, 20th on the board so far. Pretty decent first lap, 31.836. Millett still top of the board with a 31.43. Sixth fast, 31.533. Daniel Baker, the number 09, the Captain Crunch entry. I've seen this paint scheme in the past. I forget where. It might have been with this group. I don't know, but it's a good-looking paint scheme. I like it. Brings out the kid in all of us. Captain Crunch Silverado at start-finish to complete lap number 1. 24th fast. Again, lap 2 seems to be the better. Baker off turn number 4. Complete his Q run. At the stripe. 18th quick, 31.620. Albert Anderson out of Stafford County, Virginia, the 747. Second lap, still 25th, 31.679, a little faster, not a huge improvement for Anderson. Timothy Pope, another one to watch. Very competitive in the Numb Thumbs ARCA series as of late. We'll see what he can do here in the truck. Pope out of Roseboro, North Carolina. Track temperature still maintaining at 130 degrees. Still slick, but so far, even playing field for everyone out there. Pope way up top, building a ton of momentum. 29th on that first lap, 31.815 seconds for the 7.28. This will likely be the last truck to take time. There's a few that haven't. Derek Welch, one of them. Again, he's not running tonight. See if he did it. Crossed the line. Timothy Pope. Third fast, just close enough. 31.495 seconds for the 7.28. Goes inside row number 2. Good lap. We're going to step aside here, get a quick break out of the way. We'll be back with our starting grid after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Sim Gear Central 185 starting grid on the pole position with a time of 31.437 seconds. It's the 315 of Zach Millett, flanked by the 71 of Blaine Woodruff, 32 thousandths off of the pole. Second row, it's Juan Jimenez, the number 22 with DEP Racing, flanked by Timothy Pope, Limitless Motorsports, number 728. Neil Quick in the number 2 machine. He's going to roll from the 5th starting position. 6th goes to Holler Boys Racing's Brian Rose. Larry Dickerson, the number 69, he'll start 7th. Seth Hawley with Plus EV Racing. He'll start from the 8th starting spot. Double out Joe Bennett, NTRL EV Racing, and then some. 00 fittingly starts 9th. Gene Wolfe in the 4, he starts in the 10th position with Rob Hattenbach starting 11th. Mike Adamson will start in the 12th starting spot. Justin Lawson, the 20, starts 13th, with Jonah Long, the number 9, starts 14th. Raymond Ferreira in the 6, not a great qualifying effort, fast in practice. We'll see what he can do working his way through the field with Blackhawk Motorsports. It's Raymond Ferreira. Paul Ferdiani in the 33 starts 16th, with Russ Kilgore starting 17th. Vincent Short starting 18th. Marked as the 23, look for the 15 on the side of the truck. Brandon Coleman, the number 19, well, fittingly, starts 19th. Robert Chipman Jr., the 55. He'll start tonight's race from the 20th starting position, with Dan Baker, the 09, starting 21st. Mike Fahey out of Lone Star Racing starts 22nd. Justin Johnson, 23rd. Jeff Ottinger with Wicked Loose Racing starts 24th. Chris Klein, 25th. Brian Neff, 26th. Chad Martin will get the 27th position. 28th goes to Albert Anderson, the 747. 29th, Dave Harden. 30th, Scott Milner. 31st, Dave Holmberg. 32nd goes to Justin Hopp. 33rd, Mason Wagaman. Nick Cote, 34th. Derek Welch, Paul Durkee credited 35th and 36th, respectively, but I do not believe they are going to take the green tonight. It's your starting grid here from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Get ready to go green. Key to tonight's race is going to be tire conservation. I know we do have 4 sets over the wall. Of course, 1 set on the truck, so they should be okay. But if you abuse them too early, it's going to cost you. It's something we're going to have to keep an eye out for as this race progresses. Field formed up nicely off turn 4. Pace car drops down and hits the pit lane. Green flag waves, and we're underway from the old school Atlanta Motor Speedway. Field cleanly down the backstretch now into turn number 3. Millett still with the point. Juan Jimenez 4 to 5 truck lengths behind. Millett not wasting any time trying to get in the gas and get away from this pack. Puts 4 tenths back on the 22 already. Crosses the stripe. First point scored of the season for Zach Millett. Little connection issue for a moment with Juan Jimenez. He does leave the session briefly, but quickly comes back in. Certainly a scary moment for the tailing driver. That's Blaine Woodruff. See that truck in front of you just kind of disappear for a moment. You wonder where he's going to land. Hopefully the math is done right by the system and it plops him where he needs to be, because there's always that chance it could drop down in your lap and then we got a bigger problem. Top 5 currently: Zach Millett, Juan Gimenez, Blaine Woodruff, Timothy Pope. Millett out to a half-second advantage. Caution on the Speedway. Jonah Long appears to be involved in this one. Let's see if we can track this down. Jonah Long in trouble. Another truck in the grass as well. Jonah Long out of Calhoun, Georgia. Could be Dave Holmberg along with him involved in that as well. Yes, it is the 63 machine. Looks like a Harley-Davidson entry. Let's get a look here, see what happened, what precipitated this with Jonah Long. Jonah the 9 truck. Oh, just slides up the racetrack. I don't know if he missed his turn in, but scrapes the right side of the truck in the safer berry. He's going to come down. We'll try to save it. Looks like he was coming down the track, trying to avoid traffic, but gets clipped by, I think that might have been the Captain Crunch machine. I don't remember who was driving that just yet. We're still learning, everybody. Oh, big-time impacts. The 63 for sure. I don't know who the other truck was, but it went right through him. I'm going to talk about netcode. That's kind of what that is. Yes, there was an impact, but the system's really not supposed to allow that to happen the way that it did. Is what it is. Get our cautions and replays sponsored by Sim Gear Central. Vincent Short took an opportunity to pit here. Doesn't look like he took tires, maybe just topping off some fuel here. Jonah Long, of course, involved in that one. You've got David Harden as well involved. Dave Holmberg, the Harley-Davidson machine. Looks like they might have had a fast repair to burn. Double check that. Fast repair allotment is 1, so some of these guys burning it very early tonight. Now they got to kind of tiptoe their way around for the next 113 laps. Tom in the stream chat. Sound is killer, Steve. Love the trucks. Sound great. Appreciate that. Doesn't sound so good in my headphones right now, so I'm glad you like it. So we're going to get to see the restart now. If you put some laps on these tires, yes, it's only been about a handful of laps, but it does come into play. It will make a difference. The increased possibility of wheel spin on the restarts, it's there. It can certainly happen. Again, taking a look at our weather, track temps are up slightly from qualifying. It's still a very hot day here in Atlanta. Ironically, the humidity not very high considering 42%, still 86 degrees, but yeah, that 131 degree track temperature, pretty significant. It's going to wear these tires. It's going to create loose handling issues. Of course, later on in the run, if you're not careful, these trucks are going to push significantly. A lot of times you'll see guys run the bottom because they feel like that's going to be the quick way around. But if they do it too often, too early, you're going to wear that right front out, and it's just going to be a nightmare until you get a chance to jump down pit lane, get more tires. Base truck lights are off. We're going to go green this time by. It'll be lap 8.
Green flag.
Green flag flies. We're back underway. Millett, you saw it. A couple of these trucks, a little wheel spin on the start. Millet still with the advantage, 2/10 back to P2. That's Juan Jimenez. And then more connection issues we're seeing once again with the 22. That could cause a problem. Get a lot of trucks on a racetrack. This is a heavily populated field, heavily populated league this season. Everybody's computers have to render all of that data so everybody can see it. And if it lags a little bit, that can happen. Meanwhile, Millet, Timothy Pope, the top two. Juan Jimenez, Blaine Woodruff, Neil Quick into the top five. Then it's Brian Rose, Larry Dickerson, Zeth Hawley, Gene Wolfe, Rob Hattenback, your top 10. Keep an eye on the top two here. Looks like we're going to have a battle for the lead here in just a lap or two. Timothy Pope on the charge, trying to see what Zach Millet's made of. Out of turn number 2, there's half a truck between the two of them. We got a truck in the wall. Everybody scatters. They get away with it, snaking their way down the back straightaway, and I think they got through it clean. Brian Rose taking evasive action there. Not sure the truck that got into the wall. Everybody seems to get away clean. Well done by everybody involved to keep this one under the green flag. Riding on board with Timothy Pope, second position in behind Zach Millet. Top two together, 3 and 4 together. The 22 Juan Jimenez has slipped back to P3, still being challenged by the 71 of Blaine Woodruff. Then Neil Quick in the 5th position behind these two groups. He's trying to close in, become part of this battle. Then behind Quick is Larry Dickerson. Chris Fahey in the stream chat. Long time no hear from. Tristan Sykes, of course, in the chat, picking on Mike Fahey, which explains where Chris comes in. Pope going to the high side, see if he can build a run. We have a battle for the lead here. Pope going ultra high on the racetrack, trying to make a run to the high side. Gets the momentum out of turn 4. Might be side by side at the stripe. Millet still leads this lap. Pope cannot nose his way past. And we saw Pope riding that ultra high line in qualifying. Built some momentum and some speed. Millet thought about going up to block, but no, it's a little aggressive this early on. Still side by side down into turn number 3. Tim Pope up top. Zach Millet, the 315 down on the bottom. About a half lane up off the bottom to be exact, across the stripe. This time by still Millet by an inch. While these two battle side by side, look who's coming. It's Juan Jimenez and Blaine Woodruff. They're joining the frame once again. Going to make this a 4-truck battle, and if they're not really careful, it could be 6, because Neil Quick and Larry Dickerson, well, they're on their way too. Pope takes over this position. He stays on the high side, going to carry all that momentum, try and run away from Zach Millet. Millet now under pressure. Juan Jimenez closing in. Talked about it really early on here. Don't know if Millet just pushed too hard too early. He was getting away really quickly, put distance on the field. Caution comes out. Albert Anderson involved.
Or a bar or anything like that?
Oh, on his lid, the 747 in big time trouble. This looks like down in the entrance to turn 1, exit of the dogleg. Anderson's just going to tow right out. Let's see if we can catch a replay and catch exactly what happened here. Let's check our spotter cam. Look for the 747, the bottom lane, that light blue truck. American flag ablaze on the hood. Comes across the 7. They make contact. Big time impact between that driver and the 63 again involved. The 7, that's Russ Kilgore. Let's watch it again from another angle. Again, the 747, Albert Anderson, that's the one we went back to, was on his lid. The 63, Dave Holmberg, also involved in it. I think he caught up on his roof as well. And then it's the 7 here, Russ Kilgore to the outside. Might have turned down a little too far, certainly made contact, and that catch fence is about 20 feet in the air, and he was higher than that. May be able to tow it back to the pits, burn a fast repair, but it's going to be a hard row to hoe after this. Pit stops underway. 4 tires and fuel, I would assume, for everyone involved. Actually, looks like Neil Quick, though. Tires? No, just fuel. Oh, boy. Don't know if that was intentional or not, but either way, Neil Quick is going to get out here in front of all of these trucks on old tires. He's quick. He's good. But you can only go so fast on old tires compared to fresh. So we're going to have to see how this pans out. Hopefully he doesn't wad everybody up, because, again, you get to the throttle on these old tires. We saw it even after 5 laps. Guys were struggling with wheel spin on the restart. Now we've got another 15 laps. Well, a total of 15 laps, maybe under the green flag. That is significant for these trucks, especially at a place like Atlanta Motor Speedway. It's so abrasive, the racing surface. It's going to really just cheese grind the tire. Kind of surprised that Quick didn't take the opportunity to try and get those tires. Again, I don't know if it was intentional or not. We'll find out. Remember, fast laps on fresh tires, you're looking high 31s. Gene Wolf ran a 31.78. Looks to be the fastest lap of the night for the race session is concerned. Juan Jimenez, though, he also stayed on the racetrack. So he's out there with old fuel, well, low fuel, and old tires. Brian Rose, same situation, did not stop. Neither one of the top 2 has seen pit lane at all tonight. It's a very interesting strategy. I don't know if they're just banking on maybe another quick caution coming out. Again, cautions breed cautions. It's bunched this field back up, so there's that potential. And it could get you a lap or 2 fresher rubber underneath you for later on in the run. But if you're gambling now that you're going to get a caution, wouldn't you gamble later that you're going to get a caution? It's kind of hard to play your cards that it's going to be a short run when the strategy is going to benefit you on the long, but we'll see how it pans out. Both these guys at the front of the field, Juan Jimenez, Brian Rose, certainly no stranger to being towards the front, so maybe they know something that we don't. Just about everybody that hit pit lane took 4, though. There's a couple exceptions. Rob Hattenbach, no. Chris Klein, no. Of course, Neil Quick, Raymond Ferreira, he did not, but everybody else out there on 4 fresh tires. Official iRacing pace truck lights have gone out, so this is the one to go. Catch the green flag the next time by. It'll be lap 22. Chris Goins in the stream chat cheering on Brian Rose. Base truck peels off. Barney's got the green in
flag,
hand.
green flag.
A little delayed on the wave, but we're underway from Atlanta. Ryan Rose with the jump. He goes to the outside, takes the early lead in this lap. Must have timed that restart perfectly. Juan Jimenez on the bottom. In behind Brian Rose is Timothy Pope on the high side, the 728. Brian Rose, the track bar media number 89. Into turns 3 and 4. Pope looking to the bottom for the lead. Brian Rose wanted to get that lap led. It's not going to happen this time. Tim Pope with those 4 fresh Goodyear Racing Eagles. New leader, lap 23. Millet's moved his way up into the 3rd spot. Jimenez is starting to fall to the back as well. Ryan Rose, though, holding his own in P2 with older tires, but for how long? Not very. Again, Millet also on fresh rubber, making short work of the 89. Top 3, Timothy Pope, Zach Millet, Brian Rose. Then further down, 4th is Gene Wolfe, 5th Blaine Woodruff. Juan Jimenez slips back to P7 while Mike Adamson jumps into the 6th spot. Neil Quick on no tires. He runs 8th. Well, he's got tires. They're just not fresh. Good battle for position here. Juan Jimenez. Or is it? No, it's the 71. Similar colors. 71 Blaine Woodruff. Top side over the 4. That's Gene Wolfe on the bottom. The gray and blue machine. Pope still with the lead. Millet starting to chip away at that deficit. About a quarter second between the 728 and the 315. Other battles throughout the field. Zeth Hawley back in the 30th spot. Currently last truck on the lead lap, the number 48 machine. Sporting that old school Dale Earnhardt Bass Pro Shops paint scheme. Pretty cool. Big gaggle of trucks here. This is for about the 20th position. That's Chris Klein in the 51. Up top, the red and white. Underneath him, Scott Milner in the 31. .747 of Anderson, again 3 laps down after that big incident on the front stretch here in the dogleg. Still in it. 3 more cautions, you never know. He gets himself in position. Lucky dogs, wave arounds. He could work his way back around towards the lead lap. You never know. There's still plenty of racing left. Mason Wagaman in the 18th spot. That's the 56 machine. Not sure which one the 56 machine is. It says 56 in the tower. Looks like it's 28 on the racetrack. If I'm seeing it correctly, it appears to stack up that red and white entry there behind Justin Johnson in the X, the 10. Garza Law Firm on board Justin Johnson's machine. Tim Pope still leads this one over Zach Millet, 0.2 of a second, back to the 315. Juan Jimenez just trying everything he can to stay with this group of trucks. Again, did not stop. The thing is here, if he can go through this run and either catch a caution with enough time to wear the tires out, or make it through all the way to a green flag stop, he's managed to save himself a set of tires for late in the race. Why is that important? Well, especially at a place like Atlanta Motor Speedway, it's so abrasive. on the tires. We get a late caution with, I don't know, 10, 15, maybe even 20 laps to go, and there's only a few drivers with fresh rubber in the pits. Yeah, they'll pit and lose some track position, but with enough time, especially with Juan Jimenez, he's got pace regardless. You throw in the fact that he'll have new tires over old, it's going to be hard to beat. It's a gamble. Could pay off. Double-odd Joe Bennett running in the 16th spot. Hot pursuit, Jeff Ottinger in the number 76. And then Neil Quick to the tailgate of that Ford F-150. Again, Quick did not take tires on his stop, fuel only. He's kind of playing the same game here as far as trying to save a set of tires for later on. Just keep it in mind, folks, later on in this race, if things come together the way we think they could, these drivers, only a few of them opted to take this strategy. You could end up with 5 trucks on the one lap all by themselves. Who knows? Certainly going to be faster than guys that don't have an extra set of tires. 33 laps in here. We're going to step aside, go a HBR TV side-by-side. You won't miss a thing. Stay with us.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway, the Numb Thumbs Racing League Truck Series, presented by DEP Graphics, the Sim Gear Central 185. Tim Pope, Zach Millett, your top two. These two starting to get away from the rest of the field. They've put about 2.5 seconds on third place, Mike Adamson. Not sure if Millett's just trying to learn something behind Pope, or if he's just content trying to take care of his stuff throughout the run. Again, still pretty early in the event, coming on about 81 laps remaining or so. Good battle here for third and fourth position. Again, Mike Adamson, the 751, just ahead of Gene Wolfe and Blaine Woodruff. Wolfe all over the tailgate of Adamson, goes to the bottom in 1 and 2. Might have him clear. Nope. Momentum carries Adamson back around on the high side. Keeping track of our former leaders at the restart. Juan Jimenez is back into P21, about 13 seconds off the lead. Raymond Ferreira in the pit lane. Number 6. Looks like King Race Designs. One of the few trucks running a forward number. Does make room for more sponsors. I'll give him that much. Doesn't mean we gotta like it, but he's in the pits here under the green flag. Fuel only? No. Didn't have the tires checked maybe? We'll see. He had to back it up. Now he's taking the left sides. This is an interesting strategy. Didn't see any right side tires go on the truck at all. Backward pit stop. They went lefts and then rights. Must not have had them checked. You see he pulled forward a bit and then backed up really quickly. That's kind of a way to trick the pit crew to come out and finish the work. He might not have had the tires turned on. Cost him some valuable track position under the green flag. Ferreira, a fast guy, but having some bad luck here on a green flag pit stop at lap 43. Following up on that third place battle between Mike Adamson and Gene Wolfe. Gene seemed to have a good run for a little while, but now tucks back in behind Adamson. Some distance between those two, about 2, 3, 4 trucks maybe, depending on where you look at it. We're going to go with 3 truck lengths. Might have a battle for the lead here momentarily. Millett slowly chipping away. It was 2 tenths, now it's a 1.5 tenths. Millett trying to close the gap. Tell Zach Millett thinking about it. Had a little bit of a run out of 4 through the dog leg, just not enough of one to be ultra aggressive. And man, Tim Pope using all of the racetrack off turn number 2. It slowed up a little. You heard him lift. He might have a run here into 3. Now Millett cuts him a break, doesn't dive it down to the bottom. Again, not super aggressive. You can't do it so early on. Truck certainly having handling issues here at later stages of this tire run. Zach Millett, right rear, just yawed right out. Oh, in the wall, Tim Pope in the wall. Contact between Zach Millett and Timothy Pope. They're wrecking out of turn 2. Pope gets in the fence. Zach Millett continues on, but that was just a matter. Pope got in the wall. We stay under the green flag, but Mike Adamson closes in. I'd be curious to see if there's damage to Zach Millett. We know Pope hit the wall pretty hard there. I think he went down across the track into the inside wall as well. We'll go back and take a look at it in a moment, but meanwhile, there's another battle for the lead. Now that's between Millett and the 751 of Mike Adamson. Dramatic turn of events here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. The Sim Gear Central 185 getting all sorts of interesting now. Millett starting to fade slightly. Adamson's going to take the top spot. Gene Wolfe's looking for P2. Meanwhile, Pope has gathered it back up and has continued on. He did not hit pit lane. Millett's going to try and gather things back up and resettle. Now we got a new battle for the top spot. Adamson and Wolfe again. Well, this battle continues. Let's go back and take a look at it. Try and see it from the blimp. And this was out of turn 2. Pope gets in the wall and really nowhere for Millett to go. You see him turning it hard left to try and avoid contact. Ultimately, they do come together. Pope across the nose of Zach Millett. Hard impact to that inside safer barrier. Gonna watch it again now from Zach Millett's perspective on the roof cam. See, Pope just gets up in the fence, turns down to get it off the wall, but that break of momentum from Pope brings Millett into him. Tough break, but meanwhile, Millett fighting back, retakes the top spot. Looks like Adamson's gonna hit pit lane. Drivers hitting pit lane here under the green flag. More and more of them starting to get their regular service completed. Brian Rose was one of them. It looks like he may have lost a lap in that sequence. I don't know. May have got a speeding penalty. Looks like it. A 15.52 second stop that was extended to 55.52 seconds. Truck looks pretty clean still. A little bit of damage to that rear end of the 89 F-150. Track Bar Media F-150 of Brian Rose. Zach Millett has certainly composed himself, worked his way from about the 4th position after contact with Timothy Pope, just trying to feel out that truck, I would assume. He's retaking the top spot. Gene Wolfe in the 2nd position. Now these two starting to stretch things out over the rest of the field, albeit some of them opting for pit lane. Larry Dickerson, Vince Short, Blaine Woodruff, your current balance of that top 5, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Gene Wolfe now, he's going to leave Zach Millett to it as Wolfe heads down pit lane for his first green flag stop. So keep in mind, we've got a lot of these guys that opted, not a lot, a couple, opted not to take tires on that last yellow we had. I think it was about lap 19. We thought it was a crazy gamble, but so far it seems to have paid off for some of them. Neil Quick being one. He's down pit lane for regular service. He'll take tires here. So he's managed to save a set for later on. As long as the caution doesn't come out and trap him a lap down, he'll be okay here. Meanwhile, Zach Millett also in the pit lane. Juan Jimenez is likely on that same strategy. He stayed out completely, but there's Pope having trouble in the pit box again. Stay going from really good to really bad and then to worse as Millett rolls down into his pit box. Four tires and Sunoco Racing Fuel for the 315. He's down and away 15 flat. So Larry Dickerson has taken the top spot. His last pit came at lap 18. Same for Chris Klein, Justin Lawson, and Brandon Coleman. That's your top 4. Double out Joe Bennett from the 5th position. He hits pit lane, but Dickerson now, he's down into the pits for his green flag stop, as are many others. Dickerson into the box. It'll be 4 tires and fuel for the 69. Still listed as the leader, one of the latter trucks to hit pit lane. Top 4 all came down at the same time. Mike Adamson's going to cycle back around and take it. He's at the stripe right now. The 751 goes P1. Zach Millett runs in the 2nd spot. Adamson pit at lap 50, Millett at lap 54. And there you go, Juan Jimenez pit at lap 40. So now he's a little off cycle, but he is running 3rd. So he's stretched that first set of tires quite a distance. Again, has saved himself an extra set of sneakers for later on in the race. Still a little connection issue every now and again. Jimenez looks to the bottom, trying to take advantage of Gene Wolfe here, wants that 3rd spot. Tucker family, I'm just here to watch Fahey wreck. Usually it's Tristan. Let's see if we can find Mike Fahey here. There he is, Mike Fahey, running P7, just recently completing his green flag stop at lap 53. Having a solid day, truck looks clean, the number 47 quick lane Ford. Back up front, Mike Adamson still with the top spot. Timothy Pope closing in as well, though Pope no longer on the lead lap. Pope is the first truck 1 lap down, though, so if we were to get a caution, he would be the recipient of the lucky dog, but he's not going to wait. Doesn't look like it, at least. He wants to go for that top spot or take that position back the old-fashioned way and get himself back in the lead lap. Doesn't really have to push it right now. Millett giving a wide berth, and I think Pope as well. I think there's a mutual understanding there that it's just a racing deal. Again, Pope getting into the fence off turn 2. He was running that Larson line quite a bit. It just was a bit too much. Put it in the wall. Millett got into him. Millett gets away pretty much scot-free. Maybe a little bit of right front damage, but it's certainly not slowing the truck down as he retakes the top spot from Adamson here at lap 62. Double-out Joe Bennett back there running in the 18th position. Still a lead lap truck. In fact, there's plenty of lead lap trucks right now, all the way back to Hattenback in the 22nd spot. Double-out Joe Bennett working on the 51 here at Chris Klein for position. Bennett now looking to the outside. This is for the 31. That's Scott Milner for position. Milner pushes it back to the bottom a little bit faster. Bennett drops back to the inside, a little loose on corner entry to mid portion of the corner. That gives the spot to Milner. Move Bennett back to 19. Vincent Short up in the top 5, up 13 spots from where he started today. A solid run. Nice change from Sunday night's No Bowl race. First 6 laps was involved in an incident. Early exit to that event, but here he is 65 laps in, just past halfway, running into the top 5. Good run for Vincent Short so far. Jeff Ottinger running in the 11th spot. You've got the 747 in front of him. That is not a lead lap truck. That's Albert Anderson. Remember Anderson involved in an incident on the front stretch where he ended up, well, 30, 40 feet in the air and on his roof. Thank goodness for fast repairs and no need for an ambulance. Larry Dickerson in the 6th spot. Juan Jimenez in the 8th position. Remember, Juan, he's pulling some tire strategy here, and I seem to remember calling a race with Juan in it where he worked some really funky tire strategy and it paid off, and I believe he ended up taking the victory in that particular race. What he has done here in the first 19, 20 laps, we had a caution come out. We had one early, I think that was lap 5, and then lap 19 or so. Everybody took an opportunity to pit, given the tires allotted over the wall. 4 sets over the wall. That's in addition to what we started the race on. He opted to stay out. Didn't pit at all. Didn't take fuel. Said, you know what? I'm going to try and save a set all the way to the end. I know we've talked about it a bunch, but then he pit under the green flag while he was still on the lead lap, about lap 40, I believe it was. Took tires, took 4, got fuel. So he's a little slower than the leaders right now, but still hanging there in the top 10. We go another round here. He's still off cycle, but he's managed to save a set for the end. The tire strategy plays the way we think it's going to. There's only going to be about 3 or 4 guys that have an advantage here with fresh rubber over the wall. We're going to have to wait and see. 69 laps in. We've got time before we get there, but that time is coming. Mason Wagaman trying to take advantage and steal this spot away. And Wagaman, the 56 in the timing tower. I think it's the 28 on the door. A couple of trucks with mismatched numbers. We'll get that straightened out here hopefully by next week. Always have it here early on in the league. I'm actually surprised it was only 2. With this many trucks in here, Derek did a great job getting all that stuff straightened out. Again, Derek Welch not running tonight. Your race admin, owner of Numb Gaming, puts all this together with some help, of course, but tries to keep it all straight. Wagaman takes the 9th spot, moved Jimenez back to P10. Meanwhile, out front, still Zach Millett. Adamson has slipped to P3, but the advantage for Zach, 3.2 seconds, if not more, back to the 2nd place truck of Gene Wolfe. Gotta wonder still, is Zach pushing too hard? That's a big advantage. Do you want to run that high line nice and smooth? Maybe save a little fuel, take it easy on the rubber? I don't know. I know Zach pretty well. He's a full send kind of guy. He's not the type to lay down. He's not the type to go slow. If he can go fast, that's what he's going to make it do. It's been pretty successful for it. So we're going to step aside here, get another HBR TV side-by-side out of the way. We'll be back after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how he's treated me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We watched Neil Quick in the 8th position, starting to work his way towards the front. You want to talk about guys that are good at saving their stuff. Neil Quick is certainly one of them. Last season's Superior Class Auto Racing's Premier Series champion, now the No Bull Racing Series. Neil trying to get some more laps here in the truck. You can only get better the more laps that you turn. Running in the 8th position. Last pit stop was lap 53. Remember, he took fuel only on his cycle, was also able to stay on the lead lap. But he runs a little bit further forward than Juan Jimenez. When Juan was, where did he end up? In fact, now Juan has opted to pit lap 76. We talked about his strategies. This may all cycle through again. If we stay under the green flag, it could still work out in favor of Juan. As we start to close in here towards the latter third of the event, we got to definitely give a big thanks to Sim Gear Central. They're putting up a button box for the series champion here at the end of the year. I know it's the first race. It's a little premature to start talking championships, but this is what's on the line. They're going to provide a button box to the championship winner. Very nice of them to do that. Looks like a pretty solid box, I got to say. May have to go check them out and start shopping for one. I use a Stream Deck right now, but that looks more like a race car than a Stream Deck. Neil Quick still running in the 8th position. Mike Fahey, pretty good distance up ahead in the 7th spot, still maintaining that position. Mike Adamson down pit lane here. This is about time for another round of green flag stops. I think 30 to 32 laps, I believe, was about where people expected to be. At least for fuel. So 4 tires and fuel for Adamson. And Millett's last stop, lap 54. Now his pit box is all the way at the end of pit lane, so it's technically lap 53, but of course he crossed the stripe before taking that service, so technically the same lap as those on 53. But either way, he's approaching that mark to pit for fuel. Now I gotta see, we still haven't had a caution, of course, where Timothy Pope has ended up after his issue off turn number 2. Pope listed 17th. Still 1 lap down, and unfortunately for him, if we get a caution, it's going to be the 55 of Chipman who will get the lucky dog. He is the first truck 1 lap down. Been relatively clean here through this last couple of cycles of pit stops. Again, we went 19 to about 53 without a yellow. Now we've gone about 53 to 84-ish without a yellow. Millett with a 6-second advantage over teammate. Second place, Vincent Short. And these drivers all need to pit here pretty soon. Right now it's Millett, Short, Dickerson, Blaine Woodruff, Neil Quick, the top 5. Then it's Mike Fahey, Mason Wagaman, Justin Johnson, Justin Lawson. 10th, Brandon Coleman. Then it's Chris Klein, Scott Milner, Rob Hattenbach, Double-Out Joe Bennett, Robert Chipman Jr. Now Chipman Jr. looks like he may have put himself back on the lead lap the hard way, which is going to put Timothy Pope in the lucky dog position. No, Shipman still listed 1 lap down. Millett Looking like he's on a Sunday drive here with the lead of 6 seconds over Vincent Short, and pit stops to come. Could be as soon as this time by. Nope, he's still up in that middle lane. Captain Crunch machine getting a lap back from Zach Millett. Now, I don't know if Zach's been saving some fuel, but I would have expected to see him hit pit lane at this point. Unless he's just taking advantage of that track position that he currently has. Stretch out the tires as long as possible. Put as many of these guys down a lap as possible. It's up to 12 right now. He's got 12 trucks currently still on the lead lap. It's going to be double out Joe Bennett he's going to encounter here pretty soon. But it looks like Bennett, no, he hasn't pit either. Lap 55 for Bennett. Now you've got 4 or 5 more trucks down pit lane. You got Blaine Woodruff, Justin Lawson, Brandon Coleman, Mike Fahey. If Millett stays out another time around, that's going to be another lap down, another set of lap trucks. Now we're up to the 8th position that are only the lead lap. Millett down low. Will he pit? Oh, off turn 4, almost wrecks the truck. Dirt tracking it into pit lane. Hopefully he doesn't get caught speeding. Trying to get all he could get on pit entry. Beautiful save. Hopefully he just didn't get messed up on pit speeding in the pits. We'll find out here in a minute. Should be about a 14, 15 second stop. If it goes beyond that, that's going to be why. Right side's on, crew goes around to the left. 4 tires and Sunoco Racing fuel for Zach Millett. Down and away, got in and out without speeding. 14.63 seconds in the box. You couldn't have gone in any quicker and couldn't have had a faster stop. That was masterfully done. So Millett exits the pits, maintains position number 6. That's only the 3rd stop of the night for Zach Millett, so there's still an extra set over the wall here with about 30 laps to go. I think Juan Jimenez may have 2 extra sets. Neil Quick as well. Listening closely, I heard Zach Millett out of the throttle there. I don't know if he's just saving some fuel. He's already back up into the 3rd spot. Yeah, he's saving some fuel. You see their RPMs drop on the tack. He's clutching it. I would seem that he's got plenty to go, unless he's just trying to plan for a green-white checkered finish. Which at that point, you probably want to take tires anyway, but... We'll see. Millett runs 3rd, 3.8 seconds behind the top 2, Adamson and Wolf. But those two very close together off turn number 4. In fact, we got a battle for the lead coming to the stripe. Adamson has it. Wolf looking for it. Think he's found it. To the inside goes the 4. Can he make it stick on the bottom? Drives it up the racetrack. Slide job across the front of the 751. New leader off 2. Will he cross him over? Thinking about it. Ooh, almost contact. Gets back to the inside. Late crossover for Adamson. He's going to battle for this, and all this is going to do is let Millett close in the gap. He's already shaved a full second off during this battle. Sticking with this battle for now, side by side for the lead. Gene Wolfe, Mike Adamson. Wolfe takes the top spot away officially. He's got another truck in between here as a little bit of a blocker, so to speak. Millett has cut down another 1.5 seconds, and he's under a second away. Truck in the wall, that was Wolfe. Scrapes the right side of the safer barrier. That's going to close the gap even further. Adamson's going to take advantage. Millett better be careful. These guys are being awful aggressive here with 25 laps to go. So is the 315, right up underneath the back bumper of Adamson. Top 3 under a blanket as they cross the stripe. 24 laps to go. Millett trying to find a way around. It's a rolling roadblock for now. Millett goes way up top. Larson line for sure. Gonna pass them both out of 2. Nope, thinks better of it. Wolfe slides up the racetrack. Millett has taken the top spot away. Now he can try and set sail, build a gap between himself and the rest of the field. 23 to go. He thinks he's going to be shy on fuel. We'll have to see how it goes. Tucker family was asking about how Millett entered the pit lane. Well, let's go back and take a look at it. Might have to rewind a little. Yes, we do. We'll back it up. It was definitely replay worthy. He got in awful hot. We'll go at speed. Dirt tracking it all the way in. Could have thrown that one away there. I'm just surprised he was able to get woed up enough to not get a speeding penalty. That's almost as impressive as the save itself. So Zach Millett, your race leader, he's already put 2 seconds on the 4 of Gene Wolfe. 2.8 back to Adamson, and then it's 6 back to the 4th place machine of Vincent Short. Let's try and go through the field here. Had a long stretch of green flag today, so it should be all right. But Zach Millett won the pole position here this afternoon. Had early challenges from Timothy Pope. It was actually a blast watching these two go at it. Ultimately, that fight ended with Pope getting into the wall and then Millett making contact with Pope as they got off turn number 2. Pope got the raw end of the deal. He ended up in the inside wall. He's been trying to battle back all night. It's not meant to be. Meanwhile, Gene Wolfe runs in the 2nd spot as we can't see him. There we go. Gene out of Kannapolis, North Carolina. Mike Adamson, meanwhile, has taken an opportunity to hit pit lane for some tires. Vincent Short started 18th. Been a pretty smooth afternoon for the 15. Again, in the timing tower, he'll list as the 23. They'll get that straightened out for next week. Solid run so far. Larry Dickerson up 3 spots. He runs 4th, just behind Vince. Going to put the pressure on here in just a moment. Then there's Neil Quick running P5 and working some tire strategy himself. These extended long green flag runs, I don't know if it's going to pan out to his liking. Obviously a top 5 or even a top 10 would not be too shabby, but Quick's used to winning races, especially on tracks that chew up tires. A little loose out of the corner though. That's the 6 of Ferdani, not Ferdani, of, was it Ferdani? Well, we'll get to him later. It's the 6 truck on fresher tires. Position 6, Mason Wagaman, number 56/28. Biggest mover of the day so far. He's up 27 positions. Solid run out of Augusta, Georgia. Juan Jimenez started on the 2nd row, P3. Strong truck, was fast early. Tried to work some strategy to his liking as well. Opted to not pit early on. He is still off cycle from the rest of the field. Cautions may change a lot of that if it comes down to it. So far, so good, though, running at 7. Jeff Ottinger in the 8th spot, number 76 out of Goodrich, Michigan, up 16 positions. Justin Lawson also moving towards the front, 4 positions gained, runs 9th. Mike Fahey in the 10th spot, solid run this afternoon. Mike coming over from the Lone Star Racing Series. Brandon Coleman runs the 11th position out of Winston-Salem. Started 19th. Chris Klein running in the 12th position out of Buford, Georgia. Chris is up 13 positions. Justin Johnson, also from Lone Star Racing out of Joshua, Texas. Number 10, Roman numeral X, runs in the 13th spot, up 10 positions. A good day for Justin. Dan Baker in the 09 Captain Crunch entry, running in the 14th position. Double out Joe Bennett to the inside. Joe out of Jacksonville, Florida. Scott Milner in the 15th position. Mike Adamson after the pit stop runs P16. Rob Hattenbach, 17th. Rob always shows up with good-looking trucks. Timothy Pope, after his struggles, he's going to be fast all season. Don't let this one be an indicator. Some bad luck early on. Runs 18th. Raymond Ferreira, that's that 6 truck we talked about. 19th position, now 18th. Robert Chipman, now 19th. Number 55 out of Sterling, Connecticut. Brian Neff, number 60, Winn-Dixie, old Mark Martin throwback. That's your top 20 trucks here. Just 13 laps to go. Zach Millett still your leader. Currently only 10 trucks on the lead lap. Brian Neff, the 60 we just saw, that Mark Martin throwback, would get the lucky dog if we were to get a caution. Neil Quick up into the 4th position, again working his way towards the front. I don't think really anybody's going to have enough to catch and pass Millett at this point in the race. 10.5 laps to go. Unless we get a caution, it would change quite a few things. Brian Rose running back in the 27th position, again not on the lead lap either after a pit speeding penalty. Brian Neff, though, he's down pit lane for his final stop of the evening. That's going to give it up. As far as the lucky dog is concerned, I think double out Joe Bennett's going to slide into that spot. Gene Wolfe passing Hattenbach on the bottom. Timothy Pope gaining a couple of spots up to 15th. Again, early on in the season here, we're trying to get as many points as we can. Obviously, Pope was in contention for a win here tonight. Just not meant to be, but Truck still runs pretty well, it seems. Might as well go out and get as many spots as you can because it all pays points at the end of the day. Jeff Onger making the pass here on Justin Hop. Correction, that was Blaine Woodruff, I believe, the 71 truck. Justin Hop, however, he's in the number 24 of this black, purple, and green machine. Oh, we got somebody spinning just up ahead of these two. It looks like Juan Jimenez is in trouble. Slow mover. This is down into turn 1 he had those issues. We stay under the green flag. Juan just pit here at lap 108, so that was exiting pit lane, had trouble. In fact, his pit time was 1:17. Not sure if he got into trouble getting into pit lane or what happened, if there was a penalty involved, I don't know. Looks like Juan Jimenez jumped to the pits here at lap 108. That was not a drove to the pits situation. Juan back up and running, though, with 6.5 laps to go. Going to be on a mission here to gain as many spots as he can, if possible. Seth Hawley running 20th. Not a great afternoon for the 48. Down about 12 spots. Started in the top 10 in 8th. Five laps to go from Atlanta Motor Speedway. Millett still leads short by 6.9. Remember, these two are HBR teammates, as is Brian Rose here. Brian not having as good a day, running in the 24th position after a pit penalty. Officer Love saying, I thought Wolf was near the top. How'd they go down a lap? He pit under the green flag. I don't know if he was on a different pit strategy, but yeah, he jumped to pit lane about maybe 10 laps ago and under the green flag. Wolf runs in the 12th spot. '24 really loose down into turn number 3. Justin Hop struggling to get a handle on that truck, keeps it going. Two laps to go for Zach Millett. Next time by, it'll be the white flag. A caution between now and then would alter things considerably. Millett through 3 and 4. Brian Neff in behind the 60. Fresher tires, he may catch Millett here. White flag waves. Final lap for Zach Millett. One more time around. Sim Gear Central 185 will be his. Just has to work through a little bit of lap traffic. Take it easy. Don't run out of fuel. You know, the basics. Zach Millett into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. He started from the pole position this afternoon. The 315 is going to take home a checkered flag for race number 1 of the season. Zach Millett, your race winner here in Atlanta. Robinson short, takes home second. Larry Dickerson third. Neil Quick fifth. Mason Wagaman P5. Zach Millett, your race winner. Stay with us, folks. We'll have our top three in the HBR TV broadcast booth after this.
I would definitely recommend the Garza Law Firm to all my family and friends because I know how to treat me. I have been playing basketball ever since I can remember. I just finished my 6-year career playing for the University of Tennessee. I feel like we're both striving to be better every day. He's always responded quickly and has always come through with whatever he said that he's going to do. The Garza Law Firm is definitely somebody you want on your team.
The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the conclusion of the Sim Gear Central 185. Race is in the books. Zach Millett with the checkered flag. Let's see if we can get a word with our race winner and pull Zach up into the HBR TV booth. And let's try this again. There we go. Zach, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Hey, Steve, got a copy.
All right, having trouble getting you pulled up here, but glad we got you. First and foremost, congratulations on the victory here tonight. Race number 1, the Numb Thumbs Racing League Truck Series, presented by DEP Graphics. Sim Gear Central 185. You know, they're going to give away a button box here at the end of the season, but we'll talk about that part later. I think it's been a little while since we've had you win a race here on HBR TV. What's been the struggle?
Oh, I don't know. We keep getting in these leagues like No Bull, and then this one, it's getting harder out there, man.
Competition's stepping up their game. You got guys like Zach Millett out there. They're always fast, but you had to earn this one tonight. We watched you and Tim Pope do some battling early on in the race. It was fun to watch. It was excellent racing, and then it was a slight mistake from Pope. He get it up into the wall. What did it look like out the windshield of that 315 truck?
Man, I was in a good place riding behind him, too. We were pulling away from everybody else. We were in a really good spot there, and I was going to ride there until, we pit or whatever. And, yeah, you you run it so yawed out on top there that the corner of his truck just caught the wall, sucked him right in, and unfortunately spit him right back out. Right, and I couldn't avoid him. I tried like hell to get left and stay away from him. But yeah, we're really lucky we didn't get any damage there. I really thought the side of my truck would have been pretty much shot, just like the Noble race. So yeah, we got lucky there, and it sucks that he couldn't have saved it, and we could have raced like that more.
Well, it's certainly exciting to watch. We were actually riding on board with Tim Pope at the time, looking out his rear view, his rear window, watching you, and we were just talking about how yawed out you were, and then all of a sudden, Tim gets into the wall, and I saw you take a hard left trying to avoid, but nowhere to go. You did make some contact. There's some scuff marks on the truck, but it doesn't look too terrible from our perspective. Did it handle any different throughout the rest of that run?
It really didn't. The first few laps, I was really trying to push it and see it if it was handling any different, but I couldn't really notice anything. So we definitely got lucky with that.
So the last stop of the day, coming down, it was lap 89, I think it was. You were trying to get all you could get, and you almost got too much. Truck gets out of shape, dirt tracking it all the way to pit entry. How did you get that thing, number one, saved, and number two, woed up in time to not get a pit road speeding penalty?
Well, there was a point in the track where I've been practicing to stab the brakes, and after that I just closed my eyes, turned left, and hope for the best. And it actually worked out tonight. So yeah, no, I practiced that quite a bit. And, it seemed like if you had the right bias into it, it would kick it sideways initially, but it really did roll the truck down a lot more than if you just slid the fronts forward.
I mean, there was smoke coming off the truck, so you wowed it down pretty good. I was impressed. It's something we've actually seen you do quite a bit, to be quite honest, is you gain a lot of time, especially during green flag stops. You really push the envelope getting on and off pit lane. There's time to be gained there. It's a skill because it is hairy. It's usually flat. There's not a lot of banking. Sometimes you got to transition. You got to worry about coming into pit lane. It was impressive, and it certainly helped earn you a victory here tonight.
Yeah, it was scary. I definitely don't want to do it again, but yeah, I'm glad it worked out.
Well, Zach, congratulations on the win. What are your first thoughts here on this season as it progresses all the way through? Obviously, this is race number one. What do you think your chances are for a championship?
Boy, it's way too early to tell, but I mean, there's so much talent in this league. The NTRL and the Noble both. I mean, it's just incredible the guys that came out of the woodwork for these two leagues. It's nice full fields. You can't make a mistake. It's like Brian Rose. I felt horrible. He came down pit road and sped, and it just ruined his race. There's just too much talent to make a mistake and come back. With these two leagues.
So that's the long-term question. Too far out in the future. Let's talk about the near term. Next week we go to Iowa. Short track. It's fast, but it's still a short track. What are your thoughts about Iowa Speedway? You run good there?
We've had some good luck there. I'm hoping it continues. I'm definitely gonna put in some practice because I don't know, a lot of these tracks, like Iowa, I don't really spend a whole lot of time there, so I got to get back in the seat and get some laps under my belt.
Well, Zach, congratulations once again. We're going to let you go. Who do you want to shout out to?
I'd like to thank you, Steve, and HBR TV for the broadcast, as always. Numb Thumbs Gaming and the NTRL for having this league. It's a great group of guys. I can't wait to go forward with it. Track Bar Media. And shoot me a follow over on Twitch at that S4 guy.
All right, Zach. Good job, man. Thanks for talking to us. Zach Millett, your race winner here at Atlanta. Next, we're going to pull teammate Vincent Short into the broadcast booth. Get a word with the driver of the 15/23 tonight. Vince, it's Steve in the HPR TV booth. You got us?
I got you.
Vince, congratulations, man. A well-earned, a patiently run race. P2 finish here tonight. Finishing P2 to Zach Millett. That's almost like a win in a lot of people's books. I'm sure you're hungry for more, but tell us about your race, what the strategy was coming into it. How'd you save those tires? I know you're pretty good at that.
The first thing was try to avoid all the carnage there at the beginning because we had some cars that were all over the place. So it was dodging that, obviously, at any race. And then just staying on the high line and committing to it and just allowing, if guys are going to pass me, they're going to pass me. I figured they're going to burn their stuff off, which they did. And then me and Zach started working on fuel mileage. Me, him, and Brian both. Brian just didn't pit with us on that one stant. And so that put us ahead on the series for fuel. And then when we got that last yellow, that was perfect for us. Or when we came in on the last pit stop, I told him, I said, if we can get to 90, we're set.
Well, it's certainly an impressive run. That's something that's very difficult to try and discipline yourself to do is, dedicate to a particular lane because you're trying to take care of your stuff, knowing that some guys are going to bomb on by and take positions away. It's so difficult to decide I'm not going to race this guy. I'm not going to race this guy. And you did a good job with it. So job well done, sir. Congratulations on P2. Next week we go to Iowa Speedway. What are your thoughts out at Iowa? Certainly some tire savings going to be had there as well, right?
Yeah, it's kind of the same rule here. Is just being patient. If you can force yourself to stay off the throttle long enough in the turns and just drive your race and not race anybody else, you'll make up the ground and finish good there. That's one thing I've learned with Iowa. It's sneaky. It'll catch you on coming out of 4 every time, especially if you over throttle too fast.
It's like a Richmond on steroids.
Yep.
Well, Vince, again, congratulations on P2. We're going to let you go here. Who do you want to shout out to?
You know, my first one is my wife, Nikki, man. She's our #1 fan, iRacing-wise, Scar-wise, or Noble-wise, NTR.
Old habits.
Yeah, HBR TV. I mean, she's been my biggest supporter throughout the entire thing, and then my family, my brother Kyle, my nephew Landon, my daughters Ashley, Rayleigh, and Shelby, my granddaughters Kira, Raylan, and Amari. Just everybody in my team, HBR, Holler Boys TV, and obviously Derek for putting up this league, man. It should be a pretty strong league. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the kind words, Vince. Congratulations again. Good luck next week.
10-4.
It's Vince Short, your second place finisher. Next, we're going to Larry Dickerson, pull the driver of the 69 machine up into the HBR TV booth. Larry, it's Steve in the booth. You got us?
Got you loud and clear.
Larry, congratulations, man. A solid top 3. Great way to start the season out here in the Numb Thumbs Racing League. Tell us about your night. Maybe any strategies you came into. You're going to keep all that close to the vest. I don't know, but tell us about your night.
It was an interesting night. I kind of shot myself in the foot there at the beginning. I had a plan, you know. I felt like I could have got pole, but I screwed up my qualifying lap. I didn't hold that bottom good enough, but I had a good qualifying effort. And I figured if I can maintain around the top 5 all night, I might have a chance. And unfortunately, when that first caution came out, I was sitting, I think, 4th or 5th. And unfortunately, when I came through my pit, into the pits, when it was counting me down for some reason, I've had this problem multiple times. As soon as it was counting me down, and they said pit box and 1, they never appeared, and they didn't appear till I got right beside my pit stall. So I missed my pit stall, and I had to back up, and I think I fell back to around 22nd, 23rd with that, something like that. And I had to, that was a long recovery after that, and I was managed to save my tires enough and get through the field. I just wish I never made that mistake. I'm kind of bummed at myself for that one, but all around a good recovery. I had fun racing events there at the end. We were coming through the field with those fresh tires, and I thought I could at least got second, but when we was coming through the field and trying to also keep up with him too, I burned my stuff up, and once he got enough, like half a second in front of me with 5 to go, I was like, it ain't worth us going out there wrecking and cost us a podium. So I just settle for 3rd and start out the season strong.
Don't want to start the season out in the hole, so a smart move on your part. After the miscue, still a great recovery to come back up into the top 3. What did that do to your strategy after that pit miscue? Did you decide, okay, I just got to go as hard as I can now, or is it save more tires, try to get a better strategy for pit cycle later on? I mean, we didn't expect to necessarily go green for 3 straight cycles, but that's what happened.
Yeah, my original plan was just to pit whenever the leaves were going to pit under green. And when that mistake happened, it kind of just forced my hand to where I couldn't really save tires so much, but at the same time, I couldn't sit back there and save too much to where I wasn't gaining no time. So after that, I pretty much had to go hard as I could to make up what little ground I could in case the cautions were to keep coming out. But a long green flag run is where I feel like it's my strong suit in, and saving tires a little bit better than other people. There's some people are still better than me, but I feel like that's my strong suit, and a long green flag run is more my style. I'm pretty sure, like everybody else, you don't mind cautions when you need them, but you like to have a long green flag run side by side racing. That slipping and sliding is fun for me.
Well, certainly entertaining to watch here on the broadcast side of things. We might see some more of that next week at Iowa Speedway. Maybe we get some long green flag runs, but a smaller track, so maybe not. We'll see. What are your thoughts at Iowa Speedway? Your chances to repeat a top 3 or maybe even a win next week?
A win would be hard to do with Zach in the field. You can't say enough about his talent. I know this past Friday night I raced him in the ARCA series for Derek's league, and he kicked our butt in that one too. So a win's gonna be kind of a long shot unless if I slide him some money, no, but I ain't. No, I just go give it my best shot. Iowa, I don't think I've ever touched that in a league. So again, though, 1.5 miles is my strong suit. So just go at it best I can, give it my best shot, and just be smart. Just know when to pass, when not to go too hard and put myself in a bad situation, just like tonight. And if I get behind, just stay with it, and just eventually, if I keep doing like I did tonight, the breaks will come and I'll get a solid finish and maybe a podium or a win.
Well, certainly good luck to you. Congratulations again on the P3 finish. We're going to let you go. Who do you want to shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to my friend Dylan. He's my teammate on Sundays and sometimes he runs Fridays. He wanted to do this, but unfortunately with his work schedule, he's not going to be able to do it for right now. So shout out to him. Shout out to Derek for starting this and letting me join, and trust me that I can come out here and be a clean racer like all the other leagues and put on good shows. So shout out to him, all the admins, all the sponsors that come with this. I know it takes a lot of support to do this, and can't thank the sponsors enough. Shout out to also Vince for top 3 fun racing him there at the end again. Shout out to y'all guys. Hollow Boys Racing TV. I've seen y'all once before, but I can't wait to go back and watch the replay. The one replay I saw a while back, y'all did a great job. I want to give a shout out to my sponsors, LA Construction, JP Designs for my paint job, and my biggest sponsor, Angelman Syndrome Foundation, is a form of autism. Autism is very close to me. I got family members with autism. So anything you can do, not even if it's just the Angelman Syndrome form of autism, do anything you can help with autism, donate. You'll be doing a foundation, organization, a great cause, any way you can help. And last but not least, my last shot goes to my wife for putting up with me doing this. So yeah, good run.
Larry, I will say of all the interviews that I've conducted, I think thanking the wife or the girlfriend is the #1 thing above any sponsor. I do the same thing here with my girlfriend.
Yeah, I do not feel like sleeping in a doghouse.
No.
I get myself enough trouble on my own as is.
Well, good to hear it, Larry. Congratulations again. Good luck next week at Iowa, man. Thanks for talking to us.
Appreciate it. I look forward to next week.
It's Larry Dickerson, your 3rd place finisher here at Iowa Speedway. That's going to wrap it up for our top 3 finishers. We'll take a look at the rest of the results, the race results. Of course, we did talk to our top 3 already. 4th was Neil Quick. Then it was Mason Wagaman in 5th. Justin Lawson was 6th. Chris Klein, P7. 8th went to Brandon Coleman. 9th, Mike Adamson. Justin Johnson in the 10, finished 10th. A good solid finish for Justin. Gene Wolfe up front late, had to pit with about 13 to go, I believe, finishes 11th. Mike Fahey, a solid finish, 12th place. Double on Joe Bennett, P13. Scott Milner was 14th. Rob Hattenbach, 15th. Jeff Ottinger was 16th. Tim Pope, tough break, 17th place finish, not where he deserved or where he expected to be tonight. Probably could have been a battle to the win here with himself and Zach Millett. 17th, though, for the 728. Raymond Ferreira, P18 in the 6th. Robert Chipman was 19th. Zeth Hawley was 20th. Blaine Woodruff was 21st. 22nd, Daniel Baker. Brian Rose, 23rd, after a pit road speeding penalty caught him out a couple of laps down. Justin Hopp, 24th. Nick Cote, 25th. Brian Neff, 26th. Albert Anderson, the 747, after being on his lid, still finishes P27. Paul Ferdiani was 28th. Juan Jimenez tried to get some strategy working late, but had an issue exiting pit lane. Looks like he got sideways, spun the truck out, didn't hit anything, but still 29th, 5 laps down for Juan Jimenez. 30th, Dave Harden. Chad Martin, 31st. Jonah Long was 32nd. Russ Kilgore, 33rd. Dave Holmberg, 34th. Derek Welch, Paul Durkee, not classified, technically did not take the start tonight. That's your race results here for the Sim Gear Central 185 NTRL Truck Series. Thank you guys all for tuning in and watching for this first race of the season. Many more to come. We're broadcasting Sunday through Thursday here once we get everything running here. We've got one more league coming up. I believe it's February the... I've got the date wrong. Maybe it's the 6th. I got to double check, but it's next week. It's going to be the Lone Star Racing Cup Series. That'll be on Thursday, so that's going to book us Sunday through Thursday. We're going to be wide open for the next couple of months here into the springtime. If you want to watch more action, not just the Numb Thumbs Racing League, follow us at youtube.com/@HBRTV and the number 1. Like, follow, share, subscribe, all of that stuff. It helps. Turn the notifications on. That's the most important thing. But above all, thank you guys all for watching. I do appreciate it. We'll see you at the next one.